Oh man, I'm still filming my intro. What's up? I'm testing a pretty interesting lens today, the Viltrox 20mm f2.8 for Sony on the a7C Mark II, which I think is a perfect combination because it's quite affordable. Okay, the body could still be a bit cheaper, but the lens is only $160. It's also super lightweight, so great for vlogging, which is what we will do today. And the a7C Mark II also has another feature that makes this lens a bit more useful compared to other small bodies such as the ZVE1. So we will get into that in a minute. And we're also going to a coffee plantation today where we'll probably drink the freshest coffee I ever had. So we'll check that out and also see a bit how they plant the coffee there, etc. So I would say, let's get started. How's it going?
Yeah, good.
A nice bike, everything. Okay, let's go. Well, it took a while to find this place. First off, a wrong way here in the mountains. Tea leaves.
Oh no.
It's not going to work. Looks nice. And Marcus, how is it?
It's really good actually,
Yeah?
Nice coffee.
That's Marcus, by the way. He creates a YouTube channel right now. You should check it out. It's lots of AI stuff and so on. Let's directly come to why I think that the a7C is a great camera for this lens. That is simply that the 20mm, while being good for vlogging, can be quite limiting because, let's be honest, you don't only want to talk in the camera. You also want to get some B-roll shots in between and you don't want to have to change lenses all the time. And the a7C Mark II features 33 megapixels, so you can crop in quite a lot in camera without actually losing quality. Like, you're super safe at 1.5x, the APS-C crop in the camera, but you can also use the clear image zoom or general zoom function to crop in up to 2x. At 2x you should be already a bit lower than 4K, but because it's upscales you don't really see that. I wouldn't go farther than 2x. If you go at 4x, for example, you definitely notice the degradation in quality, so I wouldn't do that. But up until 2x you're perfectly fine, so I just assigned the custom button, the record button in my case, on top to click there, and then I can simply zoom in, and that helps you to capture B-roll footage because you can essentially shoot at 20mm if you want to vlog or get some wide angle shots, or you can crop in up to 2x to be at 40mm, and that's already pretty good to shoot all your B-roll stuff. Aside from that, if you don't want to color grade, it's also good that you have LUT support in this camera, so you can bake in LUT files, for example those Phantom LUTs from Joel Famularo. They are pretty good and give you that airy Alexa look, so your footage directly looks really good straight out of camera. You don't have to do much color grading. That's good to save a lot of time. I still do color grading here in this video also because I just like it. I want my shots to come out the best I can, but if you don't want to do that, that saves you a lot of time. How is the back, Marcus?
Oh, awesome. So nice. It's like perfectly organized. Yeah. Really good bags.
Yeah, I like the organization of that one. So good. Yeah, that's a little update. I actually switched to the Wanted Provoke 21 liter. If you saw my recent camera bags review, traveled for a week with the Peter McKinnon bag 25 liter. It's a good bag. I love the organization, but I really had to press it down to be able to lock the zippers. When I want to travel one bag only, it's not ideal. I think it's good for like 2 or 3 day trips maximum, but the moment you go for a week somewhere, so you have to bring a bit more clothes and you ideally want to bring a drone, etc., you need something bigger, or at least something with a roll top, because here with the roll top I can pack so much more of my clothes and stuff into that bag that I decided for that one. So little update. I know I wanted to use this bag for a longer time, but finally solved it there. But yeah, still a really nice bag. I think from how it packs overall for like day trips or 2 to 3 days, it's perfect. This is for coffee?
No, this is jackfruit.
Jackfruit, ah. Avocado. I smell marijuana. Where is it? You have ganja? No. No ganja. But smell a bit like that. That's the pepper.
Yeah, that's how it grows.
Spicy?
Yep. Not Thai spicy. They even have passion fruits here. It's like my favorite fruit ever. It's so refreshing. Hope they have some here that we can eat. I just said I want to have a passion fruit. Oh yeah.
Try it.
Club. So good.
So good?
Nothing better than a fresh passion fruit.
Oh.
Oh, we're hiking here a bit more. Let's talk about the body of this lens. Obviously, it's a cheap lens, so you can't expect too much. It doesn't have an aperture dial, it doesn't have any switches or buttons, so it's a very basic lens, and also it's completely made out of plastic, but it does have a USB-C port, and that's quite nice because it means that Viltrox can keep this lens up to date in terms of autofocusing and also IBIS. I recently had it with the Shuri sniper lenses that out of the box the IBIS didn't really work, and after a firmware upgrade it was perfectly fine. So it's good that they include this USB-C port because that means that you can use this lens for a very long time, even if they have to make some updates for newer bodies or in case of firmware upgrades of your current body cam. But yeah, overall, cheap lens, cheap body, of course, can't expect too much, but I think it's fine because that also keeps the weight low. And we're back, short hike, time for the next coffee. 11:59. That's still 1 minute before we can drink the last coffee, so that counts. Let's talk about the autofocus on this lens. Let's do a quick test first about stepping. Don't look on my face, look on the background if you see any stepping there. I would say from judging it on the display, I can't see any stepping. And I find that important because stepping is ugly. I mean, you only notice stepping really if you do huge movements like that, if your lens has stepping, but I think it's pretty good. So minimum focusing distance, I don't know the exact spec, but touching on my eye, so that's about minimum focus distance, and that's pretty close. It's weirdly close. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Talking about autofocus tracking, I did not have any problems with that at all. It tracked my face well, also other people's faces. Also animal eye detect autofocus worked perfectly fine. Where I had some issues though, I'm not sure if that's the lens or the camera, or maybe I have something set up wrong, or maybe I don't use the newest firmware, that could also be. When I had autofocus point and AFC activated, I had it quite often that when I wanted to focus on something small, maybe some leaves or so in the foreground, that it didn't want to acquire focus really. But I'm not sure, as mentioned, if that's really an issue with the lens, because I don't use the A7C Mark II for a long time, and judging from the tracking, it can't really be the lens actually, because it tracks perfectly well. So it's probably some issues on my side. When it comes to focused breathing, it has focused breathing, but it's definitely one of the better performing lenses. Like I did a small test before, you can see that with my hand and Marcus' face. And there is focus breathing clearly, but it's not on a level where I found it super distracting. So I think for vlogging it's perfectly fine. It's a bit unfortunate because it's a third-party lens that you can't use focus breathing correction, but it's at least good that it's not too pronounced. And focus noise, when I really get close with my ear to the lens, I can hear the noise of the focus motor a little bit, but so far from what I've seen with this lens, the microphone didn't pick anything up. I'm using the ECM B1M microphone here, so I would also not worry about noise with this lens. So when it comes to autofocusing with this lens, I think it's great, especially considering the price. Yeah, we can also see coffee roasting. I never saw that before in my life. It's something that I'm really excited about. Gets even better. I couldn't buy coffee here before because they only had one pack for Marcus. But now that they roast new coffee, I get the freshest coffee ever. It's funny, we can hear the machine, but you don't see anything. And we're like both filming, like, okay, is something coming? Yeah, so now I have to come here every week or so to get my coffee. I will probably not like other coffee anymore. Now we're visiting a local village here with all the farmers in the mountains. It's like about 150 people living here. It's quite fascinating because you come here, you think, okay, they have a coffee plantation, they are specialized in that. But then they show you, oh, we have passion fruits, we have avocados, this and that. It's so interesting because these are like actually practical skills. Like when you're out in the nature, you probably just see trees everywhere, but you don't see what these trees actually produce. So I actually like such trips. So we're back at the motorbikes. I would say let's do a quick lap test at home to see how the lens holds up against the 20-70mm f4. It's also a really nice travel lens, and also the 16-35 f2.8. Just a bit unfair, it's a lot more expensive. So let's get back. Thank you. So I quickly tested the Viltrox 20mm 2.8 against the Sony 20-70 and the Sony 16-35 G Master Mark II, all at 20mm. I actually tested the lenses only in video mode, 4K 24 frames per second, oversampled from 7K, because I'm only testing the video here, so it doesn't really make sense to test those lenses for photo. I'm pretty sure that if you would take 33 megapixel photos and crop a bit in, you would probably notice that the G Master is a bit sharper, but honestly for video I think we have to live with that oversampling anyway, and this is the result that we get. That's why I think actually testing it for video, it's better to test it like that on a 4K timeline instead of actually looking at the 33 megapixel photos. And talking about the results, I'm actually quite surprised about the center sharpness, because that's pretty close between all lenses. I can barely notice a difference, but where the Viltrox definitely lags a bit behind the others is center contrast. You can definitely notice that there is a bit less contrast, and there's also a little color shift going on. So the Viltrox lens is definitely a bit warmer and greener compared to the Sony lenses, which is not an issue. Just bring a gray card always and use gray card white balancing. I have some tutorials on that on my channel, and then it automatically compensates for that, so I don't really see that as a big issue. But where the Viltrox also lags behind compared to the Sonys is corner sharpness. There you can definitely see that it gets a lot softer, especially at the lowest aperture f2.8. So to come to a conclusion here, I think it's a pretty good lens actually, considering the price. I mean, the closest lens is probably the Sony 20mm f1.8, which as far as I know is a little bit sharper, and it's a 1.8, so you get more background blur. But to be honest, it's, how much is it? Like 4 or 5 times as much? Whoa! So the Sony 20mm is $900 around. It's like 5 or 6 times as much as the Viltrox lens. I would not say that you get 5 or 6 times the performance that you get with the Viltrox lens. So if you want to save a lot of money, then think twice, unless you really want to have that additional background blur, or you need a bit more sharpness for landscape photography or something like that. Then I would seriously look into the Viltrox lens here. And when it comes to judging the footage in real life, from what I've seen here quickly on my computer, from what I've captured today, I also think this lens is perfectly fine. It actually exceeded my expectations. Like when I started the day, I thought, okay, it will just be normal footage. It can't be that good, especially if I crop by 2x for certain shots, but judging that now on the computer, it actually looks much better than I expected. And aside from that, Viltrox just released their lens lineup for 2024, which looks very promising, both for Sony but also Fujifilm. There's actually a new lens for Fujifilm coming out very soon. Can't say too much now, but the Fujifilm shooters should be excited, especially also considering the price. I just saw a quick announcement from Viltrox. And also Sony, what they will bring out for full frame, there's a 135 lens planned and some rather standard range lenses, 50mm, etc. But pro and lap line lenses, and that's what I'm really excited about this year. That's why actually right now I'm not going to buy any lenses for Sony. I will just wait how the lenses will perform from Viltrox. And by the way, I would also do that if Viltrox would not send me those lenses for free, because especially the 20-70mm f1.2 from Viltrox completely showed me what Viltrox is capable of. Like, they are pro line lenses, they are super good, really nice bokeh and a lot of sharpness as well. So definitely have a look at the Viltrox lens roadmap if you want to buy any lenses for either Sony or Fujifilm in the upcoming weeks or months, because waiting a little bit could mean that you save a lot of money and you get really good lenses there. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, also consider subscribing for more videos. I have lots of tutorials here on this channel. Feel free to watch them, and I hope to see you there. Bye!